Welcome to
We
Dark
did it.
Mode.
We're here.
Thank God. Jesus. Y'all
Yes.
weren't here for the pre-live. I was like, Jane, are you there? I can't hear you. And it was just like going crazy glitch. I don't even know. But thanks for everybody for joining and thanks for listening on the replay on Dark Mode, the live podcast. Where I'm like, dude, this is gonna be a really good conversation because I am all for being modern in your marketing. But before we get started,
Catching up with Cox and Clark. And what is going on with me today? Well, next week I'm on vacation, super
yay!
jazzed, and it's kind of sad because I'm like, babe, I really want to go see the butterfly sanctuary at Hershey Park, and we're so there, right? And we also hate
Oh,
people.
I
Brooke
love
might know what I'm
that.
talking about here. So we're like, let's go in the off season. That's genius. And then of course we realized the entire freaking park is closed the week I'm on
What?
vacation, right? Yeah, they're absolutely shut down. But I'm like, but guess what is it? Hershey Gardens. Guess what's there? The butterflies. So I'm gonna make the best of it. We'll even go to zoos and stuff. It's gonna be fun. But I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Even when I plan, the world's against me. Um, but I don't really enjoy roller coasters and shit anymore, so I'm
Mm,
not that sad. My
yeah.
husband might be like, darn, I really wanted to scare the shit out of myself today, but um
I do love Hershey Park though. It's fun.
yeah, I'm having a really good time at work. Working on like making the process more fun. And Brooke, I'll have to share that with you later when we
Yes.
finish. But it's taxing. I mean, my God, I'm like 4 hours of this, and I'm like, I need a vacation. It's just so weird how much energy it takes when you're really diving that deep into, making something better and better.
Yeah, and plus you have to be creative as well because you're like you're doing gamification, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's like you
So
have to be creative in order to do that. And being creative takes a lot of energy out of you. I will
it does. I was like, I have enough energy to last me a lifetime. But then I'm like, let me take a nap real fast in that same sentence, power naps. Tell me about you, Heather. Oh my God, you have so many exciting things happening.
Oh,
And I've just been
honey.
stalking you
I'm
online.
just excited because the first season of of Into the Black will be wrapping up this Sunday. I decided because okay, thank you, Nancy Dybert. I just want to say again, I know we mention her a lot on this podcast because she's like the freaking goat, but
Yeah.
her first season of Yes Genius was like 5 episodes. Like I didn't realize that I could make whatever season length I want.
Oh my God, we can do any season length we want. The dark, we can just make one episode per season. Like we got 24
We have
episodes per
24
season here,
seasons
Dark Mode.
already.
So cheesy.
But yeah, so 20th episode will be the final episode of season 1 of Into the Black. That'll be this Sunday. And then it'll come back in January because dude, I mean, I'm coming up on the busy season and from
Yeah,
September
yeah, yeah.
until January 20th is when is my busiest season because of the holidays and my daughter's birthday and just all these Christmas and it's well Yule. But yeah, it's going. Mercury retrograde's over as of yesterday, thank God.
Holla.
Which is like why are we still having these technical issues? Because that's what happens
LinkedIn.
with Mercury retrograde.
It works outside of the moon
Right,
and
yeah.
the
And
astral
then
plane.
so I started my cold email campaign and I cold emailed like the vice president of a large restaurant group that has
Woo!
restaurants up and down the East Coast with a very personal pitch because I used to work there.
Oh my gosh,
So
that
I
beautiful.
yeah, so I'm gonna start stalking them, but like yeah, I'm just fingers crossed that that happens because I would love that to happen. And
Yeah,
then
and
three
when we say stalk, we mean do our homework.
yes, yes,
Is
yes, yes.
really what we mean.
I
For
will
anyone who's like,
professionally stalk.
yes, yes.
But that's what's going on with me. Just it's school season's back and my kids are back in school, so I have lots of time now, which is great. Summer's over. I don't have to make lunches every day for the kids.
Oh my God, like make your own lunch. I can barely do as it is.
I
No.
know, I know. But that's catching up with Cox and Clark. I think we're just really super excited to get into this conversation because let me tell you, I've been chomping at the bit to talk about this, Jane.
And
Um,
before you
yeah.
do, I just want to say that cold email outreach you're doing is exactly the bolstering that we're talking about, because And that you guys might relate to this. Like if you have just had success in your business and you haven't done a whole lot of advertising, congratulations. Someone is now wanting to work with you and you didn't have to suggest that you had to. And we're going to talk about how that happened and how you can leverage it.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
Hi,
And
do you want to
actually,
go through?
yeah, I
Tell
didn't
me.
even like think that like, yeah, like attraction marketing through cold emails too. Like that's just like just blew my mind for a second cuz and that's why I love having you as like I love that we have this podcast together because you and I we think alike, but we also think so differently.
It's true. Yeah. We get to the same place, but
Yeah.
we'll probably take right and left to get there, like
Yes.
probably.
Yes. And so it's like it kind of like opens my mind because I'm like, okay, well, like there's no one right way to do something as long as you get to the outcome that you're looking for. So sorry, I
Agreed.
just wanted to
Agreed.
go off and tell
Yeah.
you that I love you and I'm glad
Oh, thank you.
that we're hosts on
Likewise.
this awesome Dark Mode podcast. Okay, enough love.
Enough love.
Um so today we're talking about being a modern marketer, being using your marketing to like attract people looking at it. It's like the strategy of where your shit is so cool that clients come like looking for you for your service
Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
product, right? Um I love your note here, Jane. It's like a glorified moon bounce. Can you
Yeah. You
explain
see.
that to me? Because like I'm
Oh,
trying to wrap my brain around that and I'm like,
okay. All
what does
right.
that
A
even
glorified moon
mean?
bounce. You see that shit? Listen, I live in a very, there's not a whole lot of kids in my neighborhood, but I remember being at my house, stepping outside, and I'm like, holy shit, there's a moon bounce like several houses down. I can see it above their house. Like it's bigger than their house. And I'm like, what is happening? There's laughter, there's fun, and I want to get in on that. Right? Like FOMO times a million plus. I love to play games. And
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
get it.
is there a ball hit in there? You know, like it's exciting, it's fun, it has possibilities and adventure. And that is what's attracting me to that party, right?
That's okay. So like and again, the two different ways we think because when I read that, I was like, "Oh, you're going to jump so high. It's going to you're going to bounce into the next stratosphere of being a modern
No,
marketer." I
nope, I'm
get
gonna
it.
crash a kid's party and I'm gonna
Yes.
jump on this thing.
I love that. And I totally see that. Yes, because when you see a moon bounce, that's I have 3 kids. Whenever we see a moon bounce in somebody's yard or like in like a school field or something at the end of the year, they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, moon bounce. Oh, I want to go." So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
total FOMO. I love that
Chuck
so
E.
much.
Cheese's was the best at that
Yes.
time.
Oh my god. So
So great
I
looking back.
am gonna have a obviously a different take on what it
Yeah,
is to
yeah.
be a modern marketer, right? Um, Number one, we live in a very visual world right now, especially with digital marketing. We eat with our eyes first, as they say, in hospitality and restaurant marketing. Like if you're marketing for like food and restaurants and like a service product. Like we eat with our eyes first. And if
Mhm.
something doesn't look appealing to us, we're not really going to be attracted to that. We're not going to want to bite and see what it's all about. So it thrives. The attraction marketing thrives on those like aesthetics that resonate with modern audiences. And when I say modern audiences, I gotta say, the way that we're marketing right now is completely different than how we used to
Yeah,
market.
yeah.
Um, Print and static imagery is not real. Like the graphics. Like I'm sorry if I see one more Canva graphic on your Instagram and like that's all your Instagram feed is just these graphics made in Canva to try to promote your event and your business. You're living in like 2009.
Yeah.
Like that's not really modern. Like the modern way that I think that we have to really attract modern audiences is I know everybody's going to hate this, but we really need to look to the younger generations. Sorry. Like Gen X, millennials, boomers, we're not trendy, bro. Like we're really not. And that's why I always look to like Gen Z, Gen A, younger
Yeah.
demographics because they're the ones who are really pushing the envelope and like creating this vibe essentially with modern audiences. And I just think it's really cool because like it's the cool factor. You want to be cool. You don't want to
Yeah.
be looking old and dated because nobody wants to work with other people who look old and dated. Why would you want to collaborate or work with a company that is using old school marketing tactics or they look like they're not staying ahead of what is
Yeah.
happening of like the whole entire society digital landscape, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. But just curate your feed, man, that aligns with the latest design trends but still like talks to your business and actually speaks to your brand. That like because you don't want to go so far off base that you're like, what the hell, this makes no sense with this person's brand. Like
Yeah.
I do that sometimes and I'm like, oh shit, like okay, I need to like pull it back a little bit. But the next one is leveraging social media trends. We all know how like I'm all about social media. But you have to stay ahead of the curve by incorporating the latest social media trends. And I know that sucks. Not but don't like do it everything in like balance. Like everything, don't just lean into all of it is social media trends because
Yeah.
then you won't speak to who you want to speak to, but you can twist it. Twist it
Right.
a little bit, right? Like that whole very demure, very mindful, like that trend, right? Oh my God, everybody, even
Hilarious.
Netflix got on that trend, babe.
Yeah.
Like they had a
Hilarious.
whole very demure, very mindful category added to Netflix. So you got to think about how you can leverage these social media trends to attract those who also maybe demure, maybe mindful, maybe it's brat. You know what I mean? Like and I
Yeah.
went and I posted about the bratification of social media and our digital marketing. And bratification meaning like cool. Okay, Jane, like you grew up in the
Yeah.
90s, obvi. Like
Hobby.
stonewashed jeans,
Hmm.
Polaroid with a little bit of graininess to it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that type of like authentic raw content because it's like the anti AI. It's the pushback against the sleek. It's the
That's
pushback.
why I have pink in my brand.
Yes, yes, yes. It's like the pushback against
Yeah.
like everything perfection. And this like, you know, Charlie XCX who released Brat, I mean Kamala Harris like grabbed onto that and so did the rest of us. And now
Yeah.
it's just this like it's this push to be raw and authentic. And I feel as though that right now that is what is going to help you win in attraction marketing because you are being raw and authentic and real. And we can tell that you're being real. Like photos aren't perfect. Like life is not perfect. And I feel like if you feel like if you are portraying that and you're like, hey, I'm real, I'm raw, I'm authentic, this is me, you're gonna attract real because real attracts real. That's just
Agreed.
and that leads me to my third point of championing authenticity. As AI rises, so does the demand for content that is raw, genuine, and relatable. Customers and consumers crave human connection 100%.
Yep.
That is what I'm
100%.
trying to like drive home with that whole like Canva graphics and tiles constantly on your feed. Like nobody can get a human vibe from that. Nobody can
Yeah.
feel a human connection with that. And that is why I'm like pushing for like real, relatable, raw, blurry,
Yeah.
grainy content that looks lived in and feels lived in because
How do
that's what people are craving, human connection. We want to connect with one
Yeah.
another and screw perfection, right?
Heather, for your like more corporate clients, how do they keep it real while also keeping it Fortune 300?
Girlfriend, let me tell you, it is hard. It is hard AF because you have to
Yeah.
deal with legal, you got to deal with brand guidelines, you got to deal with I mean it's hard, but I mean, but you can't stop trying to push.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
Um that's I mean, the biggest lesson I think here is if you are a corporate brand, you need to kind of like get your head out of the sand and kind of like open your eyes and rub your eyes and look up at the world and be like, okay, like what is happening? And people relate with humans. So we got to add that human element into corporate. And I know that's hard because corporate does not want people to be the face of the brand.
Yeah, they're NDA everywhere. They don't want to
Yes.
be associated with any human who
Right.
might make a mistake in the future.
And that is why I always like for corporate brands, like,
Yeah.
faces like from behind, like the back of the heads, like
Yeah.
fast moving through crowds so you don't get anybody's picture like or their face or whatever.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to show it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's also like, so the other day I did like I think it was like a mug night or something. And I got a phone call. And we made a banner that literally said, like, if you come into this space, you will be recorded. And you have to
Yeah.
be okay with being recorded and putting it on social media. And if you don't want to be on social media, then you cannot enter the space.
Yeah.
And so that's like much easier because then you can kind of get away with like, okay, well, like being in this space has already given us permission. And that's a
Correct. Yeah.
lot easier for corporate as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then also innovating with emerging technologies. You can utilize AI, right? I use AI all the time, but you have to be really, really niche down on your AI and really understand and kind of see the overarching themes that come out of AI to make sure that
Yeah.
you can avoid that. Like the words dives, delves, embrace, embark. What is what is that one? It's just got better. If I see that phrase one more time, just got better. Monday just got better. Like, no. So like if you really use AI, use these tools to help you with your attraction marketing to attract others through the use of data. So let's say
Yeah.
that you made a awesome, relatable, trend focused piece of content that is attracting a crap ton of people. You're getting lots of likes and engagement. People are sharing it, people are commenting, they're asking questions, they're doing all this stuff. You take that content because that is proven organically. And then you could take
Yeah.
that data and take that information and throw it into AI to help you create more content that is based off of that already proven piece of content that is already out in the ether. So utilize AI to help you create more content that works, but don't really lean into it too much with like the images unless you are like so good and you've been working over at Midjourney for like years in regards to your prompting to get like a photograph worthy looking photo, then
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
for it. But I would stay away from like the sleek looking images, the like ones that you can tell are AI generated.
If the people
Um,
are hot, don't use them.
yes, right. And people are privy to it now, but and that's why we want that
Yeah.
raw, authentic feeling relatable content that is really attracting people now because we all know you're real. We all know that you're raw and authentic and genuine and you're actually a person. And I think the FTC is kind of leaning into that too with the whole like you're not allowed to buy followers anymore
Mm-hmm.
um to sell your goods because it's
Woohoo!
literally like signal I know, right? Like it's literally signaling that the follower count is what gives the signal of social proof and it is in and itself attraction marketing because
Yeah.
when you look at it it's like these this person over here has 1 million followers and they've been doing this for 2 years. But then this person over here has 100,000 followers, but they've been doing this for 10 years. Well, the 2 million follower one is going to get more attraction. But the thing is, they probably bought most of their followers. So that is what I love about the FTC kind of leaning into this raw, authentic, and with
I
that
think it's fair.
becomes more
It's
consumer
misleading.
protections. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when Twitter first started, I remember a couple of ground rules, and one of them was that you should be following less people than people are following you. So your follower count should be bigger than your following account.
right.
I stuck to that. I would never go over a minute in my life, and it's just ingrained in me forever to just not follow more people than they're following me. And really, this is sort of like a reverse psychology kind of thing,
Yeah.
which I have an associate's degree in photography. I am not a psychologist, but these are just some things that I've learned. And honestly, they all come from like a place of love. And with this whole marketing thing and the attraction of it, like we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? So not all traditional marketing is shit, but you have to use the more modern
Yes.
techniques to let
Modern
people know,
approach, yes.
yes, that hey, you're active, you're relevant, you know what you're doing, and I trust you. And unfortunately, being active and connecting with people is just so key with that. Um, Heather, do you have more tips for us?
I don't. No, that was it.
Okay, good.
Innovate.
All
So
right,
my tips are embrace the power of visual aesthetics, leveraging social
perfect.
media trends, championing authenticity, create relatable trend-focused content and innovate with emerging technologies and just lean into being raw and authentic. That's all
Yeah,
I got, lady. But I'm
that's
excited
a
cuz you have
hundred
so many
percent.
freaking things down here I'm
I
super
have some
excited
weird
with.
things that I've learned. I've been, like I said, I've been studying some weird shit um, about just being a human being and all that stuff. But you know, I think the attraction marketing really boils down to letting the power of letting people think it was their idea. So when you're trying to bring someone on board to your idea or a client or anything, a team member, when you want to start attracting people, you can share your ideas while also retaining the ownership. Like, oh, this is mine, this is my idea. And honestly, people may or may not give it a chance because they're not really invested at that point. Option two is that you can ask others for their ideas and honestly listen thoughtfully. And they may suggest something similar or even identical to your own idea, but since it's their idea, they're committed to it. And so the results of this lead to implementation of the idea and solves a problem at the same time. And option three, you can ask others for their ideas. Um, and they might even be different or even better than yours. But either way, it's a chance to solve the problem faster, more affordably, and more effectively when you collaborate with people in this way. So the solution is not only implemented, but it ensures their commitment as well. And the last but not least one is when you don't like the ideas offered by others, you can respond with something like, yes, that's one approach. What about this idea? And so this way, you're collaborating on the solution that is working for everyone. And by co creating that approach, everyone feels involved and they gain a sense of ownership and commitment. And I just love that. Heather, are you still here? Not yet? Okay. So we're really looking at like reverse psychology here. So we could be a good fit for you, but are you a good fit for us? And now we've just turned the tables a bit. We're not desperate for your business. We're not desperate for just anyone's business. And now our discernment game is playing hard to get, which will make you want us more than we want you, theoretically. Really, and that's really, really what it boils down to is that people like a challenge. And so if you aren't desperate for business, you're not, trying to sell anyone hard, you're really going to get a solid following of people who trust you, who look up to you, and want to work with you. And I think, that authenticity um, is really important for that. And it's interesting as I do this coaching and I'm like melting down in front of people, but also being stronger and stronger as I go along. Um, One person actually said, I don't know if I can do what you do. And that's, confide in everyone that you're not doing good in this area, right? So I'm a bit honest with my shortcomings because I want other people to feel like they're not alone. And so when I think people see business people modeling, hey, this is who I am, take it or leave it. Here's my prices, take it or leave it. It really takes the pressure off. And really, it's all about just attracting that one client that is your dream client and is the best fit. So that is how I look at everything um, from more of a psychological standpoint. How do we make people so excited that they want to work with us? How can we show how good we are? And we can do this through a variety of ways. People being on podcasts, for example. Thanks for being here, guys.
Yes.
People are like, hey, okay, they've got a whole podcast. They must know what they're doing, you know? So there's a lot of things that you can do that will just attract people. And you might be attracting people for years before they actually decide they want to work with you or that they can work with you. But trust me, if you are who you are and they like you, they will work with you. It just might be a year from now, or in my case, 5 years from now. I've been client. Um, so
And
yeah.
that also like working in the SEO portion of that too, because that's what SEO is, that long game for that
Mm,
attraction marketing.
I, yeah, that's my main game.
Yeah.
My main game. Yeah. I mean, I did a risk and I took off everything on my website that related to Delaware because I wanted to be more of a,
Did you really?
I
No
did.
way. When'd you
And
do
so
that?
about 6 to 8 months ago.
Oh, okay.
And now I started working on being a woman-owned business. So a woman-owned agency, a woman-owned branding agency, a woman-owned marketing agency, a woman-owned boom. And so now I'm getting one person, she came to me, she lives in Texas. She went to my website. She says, I want this package, and then bought the package, did the package, finished the package. Like I didn't have to do a thing to sell it.
Dude, that is awesome.
And that was like the ultimate win for me. Yes, you might be getting less leads. Yes, you might be getting, you know, ones you're not good. Quantity does not mean quality, right?
Yes.
Brooke, Jeff, do you guys want to come on and add anything or
Yes,
any
please. If
questions,
you want to
comments?
come up, please raise your hand. We are recording live here on Dark Mode, the live podcast. If not, thanks for hanging out because we appreciate it. And this has been,
Very
dude,
much.
like we were just like wanting to dive in on this. Oh, God. No, not dive.
Oh no, I still say dive. The word I just don't say anymore is landscape. I've I've removed that
I
from my
know.
repertoire. Um, but yeah, that's so interesting. You know, it's really about just people needing you more than you need them, and that's the cool factor, I think.
And I do want to say, I feel like social media in itself is attraction marketing
Oh yeah.
because you're putting yourself out there and, oh, yay, Brooke, hi.
Oh my God,
And,
do it.
well,
All
yeah, you
right,
have to
here
bring
we
it
go.
up because I can't. And I feel like social media in itself is attraction marketing because, like, let's say there's like ABC Diner over here, and then there's like XYZ Diner over here, and XYZ Diner has not posted on social media for months, but then ABC Diner over here has been posting every day. Like, who do you
Yes.
think is going to get the more attraction? Like ABC Diner or XYZ Diner? I'm thinking it's
Yeah.
ABC because they're posting every day.
Yeah. You
So,
know, they're there, they're working, they're active, they're in
yeah.
it.
Hi,
Brooke,
Brooke.
welcome to the stage. What you
Hi
got for
there.
us?
So, no, I totally agree with everything that you guys are saying. And I will say it's not like I get a huge number of leads all the time, but the ones I get are significantly higher quality. So it just makes life a whole lot easier. And again, if you're just being yourself and being consistent, then you are attracting, you're more like, it's not 100% success free, but it's a lot closer to
Yeah.
100%.
Your prices are too low if your conversion rate is 100%, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, even
Oh.
when my prices were too low, it's still, but you know what? When my prices were too low, then I was still missing out on people were like, whoa, you are dirt cheap. What am I missing here? Because these other people are priced way
Right.
higher.
So
Maybe they
they
do a
think
better job.
that exactly. So they think they can't trust you because they're like, why are you like $3 million cheaper than the other people? Are you not
Yeah.
offering the same thing?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I've heard to price yourself just slightly above the average. So that way it's nothing ridiculous, but it's enough to say, hey, you know, my value may be more. Of course,
Yeah.
everyone does that, then our prices keep on raising to eternity. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've I've seen I use that pretty well.
Yeah, that's a great idea because you can always go down, but you can't go back up once you pitch, right? So you got to start higher at least.
Yeah.
And and then you realize that wow, I'm good enough that people want to pay my full rate. Why do I need to discount it at all? And you know,
Yeah.
so
Well,
I just love this so much. And I would say this is the first year though that this has been the hardest year of my life business wise. It's probably, there's a lot of every election, right? You get that. But I think
yeah.
people are really, really researching more, holding on to their money and picking just that right person. So I think that we're going to get a lot nicer clients
Mhm.
overall and be happier.
I am so glad you said that, Jane, because business has been slower than normal lately, and I've been super paranoid. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, seriously.
You're
And
not
of course, I
doing
didn't
anything
think,
wrong, I promise
okay.
you.
And I'm like, yeah. So the mortgage is getting paid. It's fine, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. It's
Yeah.
it's not as cushy.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's harder. Every sale, they ask, they want to exhaust everything you're selling them. They want to ask all the questions, and so that's why it's important to price yourself, and don't let people whittle you down if you know that just managing a person is half the battle. So,
Mhm,
ugh.
exactly.
Thank you for saying that, Brooke. I spoke with one person who was in the business 35 years in the branding agency, and she said this was the hardest year of her business too. And I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
that gave me permission to pretty much tell all my friends, it's not you, you don't suck. Just keep working at it. The bubble
Good.
will burst, if you will.
Yeah. I hope.
It will.
Because I
Thank
mean,
you,
it
Brooke.
has, I mean, last month was the lowest month I had in 3 years, I think.
Oh
So,
wow.
because I,
Mine happened earlier in the year.
yeah, kind of
Yeah,
crazy. Kind of
it is
crazy.
crazy.
But that's
But
why
yeah,
attraction marketing is so important. That's why like the long term, the long game is so important. And social proof and reviews, I feel like reviews and testimonials, they're not used as much as they used to be because I guess maybe people don't trust them as much these days because you can buy them
do you trust a company who has like 100 5-star reviews?
if they're
No.
traceable.
Brooke, did you say no?
I said no. Actually, yeah, and I have heard that like of someone who has like a 4.8 or 4.9 is more trusted than a 5.
Hmm.
Which I'm actually paranoid because I am a 5 and it's a real 5, but I'm like actually waiting for someone to get I mean, I hope no one listening does this for me as a favor, but I'm actually waiting for a bad review. Like, I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen, but I'm like it'll actually bring my score down and maybe I'll look better. Which is so
Dude,
sad.
when I got my first 4-star, I was like, girl, how do we make this a 5-star? But you know what? I didn't because I'm like, my process needs work. And when I fix this process, I'm going to go back and be like, yo, can we get another chance to earn that 5-star review? But no one knows that, in the front end of things. So, but yeah, that's a really good point. People want to know how you handle conflict. So if you don't have an opportunity to do that, then, they just have to assume and hope everything goes according to plan.
And by the way, I don't know the etiquette here, so if you need me to drop down to listening mode, I'm happy to do that because you guys are the hosts, not me. So, just give me some type of settle or really obvious pro to leave.
She's like, what do I
Just
do?
hang out with us, man. You can do whatever you want. Hang out,
Okay.
drop down, leave, whatever you like. We love you,
Okay.
Brooke. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And for anyone listening, we're in the same area physically, but I
Yes,
haven't seen Brooke in like 12 months, probably. No,
I know.
in real life, no.
We're probably like at most 15 minutes away, and Heather,
Yeah.
you and I are like 7 minutes away.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. I feel like all of us need to go to lunch now.
I think Jeff might be in Delaware too. Jeff, if
Yeah.
you're give us a little sign that you exist in Delaware, maybe it's PA or Maryland. I don't know. There you
He's
go.
in Greater Philadelphia. He's marketing and advertising photographer.
Perfect. Yes, I know his lovely
Oh,
wife.
yep.
Yep.
Thumbs up, bro.
Awesome. All right, what news do we have, Heather? Please tell me you have
I
something.
mean, I have some news, but like, it's all about the FTC.
No, I want to know that. Let's do it. Yeah, tell me about that. Oh,
So the
and Jeff,
FTC, yeah,
yeah, let
please
me
bring
get
Jeff
Jeff
up
on here.
too.
Yeah. Go ahead, Heather.
So there is a bunch of stuff that just came out in regards to the FTC.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what the FTC is, that is the Federal Trade Commission, and they are basically coming down with a ton of new social media guidelines in regards to influencers and social media followers. And so it's, I'm all about regulation and guidelines because
Wild Wild West.
yes, the internet is the freaking wild, wild west. Social media, there's hardly any regulation on it. But the FTC recently updated its guides concerning use of endorsements and testimonials in advertising. There had not been an update to the guidelines since 2009, before TikTok even existed, and
Oh
Facebook
shit.
was still like just coming out, right? Um, But yeah, like you have to have a clear and conspicuous disclosure. So influencers must make disclosures clear. This means disclosures should be easily noticed, not buried within a long caption or hidden among a sea of hashtags. So if they do have an ad, you got to make sure that it's clear and they can see it. They updated the definition of endorsements. The use
Okay.
of hashtag the use of
Excuse
hashtags.
me.
The guidelines still hold that commonly used disclosure hashtags such as a hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored, and hashtag paid partnerships are acceptable, but those must be displayed in a manner that is easily perceptible by consumers. So it has to be like within like the first like 10 characters.
Interesting.
In platform tools. Social media platforms increasingly provide built in tools. The guidelines emphasize that these tools can be helpful in disclosing partnerships. So, parties using tools should carefully evaluate whether they are clearly and conspicuously disclosing material connections. Affiliate marketing, endorsements and testimonials, ongoing relationships, endorsements directed at children.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. And then also the buying of the fake followers,
Yeah.
and buying of views and whatnot. So
Woohoo!
that is huge. Just look up
Very huge.
FTC. And the FDA and the FTC. Oh, okay. Well, that's like they're telling them they have to. But yeah, just go look it up. FTC social media. You will learn so much information about all of
All
the
right.
changes that have come down. And like today, and you also cannot make income claims anymore.
What do you
So
mean? I can't say how much money I make a year? I mean, not that anyone cares, but
yeah, but
what do
like
you
you
mean?
can't say like, "Oh my god, I just sold my first digital marketing course and I made $150,000. Contact me to learn how you can also make $150,000."
Uh,
Like you can't do that
I see.
anymore. And that is like a lot of social media managers like that's one of their content pillars is to show
Yeah, it
how much
is.
they make. And like so all the over on threads, I like and whenever I see it, I'm like, by the way, like you're not allowed to do that anymore. And like you
And I
do have
get
6 months, right? It doesn't happen until like I think there's a few months left. I think it's like 5 months away. Um but yeah.
time to get sued.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
go. You know, it's
Just
interesting, like these stock photo sites, that one of them contacted me and was like, "Hey, you need a business license." I'm like, "Okay." I go to the website, it didn't say business license anywhere on the website, not one freaking place, not my account, not if I log out and look at it. And then they're trying to sell a business license and imply that you're not being, how do I say, like you're not following regulations, right? And I'm like, let me get this straight. So now you decide you're gonna have a business license, and so that is going to what go back when you didn't have a business license? Everything was fine. It's just wild. So just be careful, guys. People will freaking see you. Jeff,
Hey,
my
Jeff.
dude, what you got for us? You're muted, by the way. There you go.
Yes, I just realized that. Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
I think it's still morning.
It is.
I just want to acknowledge that I'm listening and getting some points from things that you're all saying. And the one thing that confuses me, I've had a business for almost 30 years, and we've gone through print promotionals and so on, and um, I'm pretty entrenched in LinkedIn from the standpoint of I have a ton of connections, but I haven't quite figured out how to make that turn into successful um, business connections and therefore possible clients. And when I hear you talking about social media, I'm assuming that LinkedIn is part of that, but not necessarily always the main thing. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. Yes.
Okay. And
I use LinkedIn mostly as my personal brand marketing.
mhm. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to know who's talking.
Oh, I'm Jane. This is
Oh, okay.
Jane,
Hi,
and
hi,
Heather
Jane.
sounds like.
Well, I,
Yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I was doing okay until Brooke chimed in, and then it
Ah,
suddenly became a little less obvious who was speaking. But anyway, not a
If you
big
want, I
deal.
can talk in a French accent or something like that, just to
Oh,
make it
there you
easier.
go.
oh my God, that was brilliant.
Very nicely
Holy
done.
shit.
And I know, Brooke, you're very visible in LinkedIn strategies, and I have to say I haven't taken advantage of that very much. But I mean, and it was interesting when somebody mentioned email marketing, and I guess I've sort of felt over the past several years that has not been as successful for me. And I'm just curious what your thoughts are on email in general, because all I hear is everybody's bombarded with emails all day,
Mhm.
myself included. And I'm just wondering if that's still considered a, viable avenue.
I mean, I personally do not have an email newsletter list because that's just another thing I got to add. But I do
Yeah.
manage it for clients. And the one thing that I do see that a lot of people miss out on and make this mistake is that they do not have attraction marketing for their newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you have a newsletter and you want more people to join your newsletter. Well, how do you do that? Well, you could put a button on your website, sure, with a call to action to invite people, maybe even a form in the footer. But I really think that people need to add that as one of their content pillars or one of the buckets, as if you think about it that way. You have to put on social media, hey, like, do you want to learn insights and invaluable tips about drones? Visit the link in my bio and sign up for my email newsletter that comes out weekly, and you will gain so much information. So you got to
Yeah.
actually put out there that you have a newsletter and that people can sign up for it, and even showcase that newsletter. Whenever a newsletter would go out, I would actually take, that link that it says cannot view this newsletter in your inbox. Click here to view it on your browser. I would grab that link and then share that, or, sometimes these platforms give you the link to share on your social media, because that is attraction marketing for your newsletter.
Yeah.
So make sure you are sharing out on social media, your LinkedIn, wherever you are. Hey, I have a newsletter. Sign up today. So that's one way of doing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely got to have
Mhm.
some unique content as well. Like if it's just content that they can see on another platform, they're going to be less interested in reading it. And we also do a giveaway every month, and we just ask them to reply and engage with us, and um, then they get to a raffle basically, and they get our giveaway that month. We get a lot of people. It's surprising the amount of people who actually do read your newsletters. Also, how many people don't read your newsletters, and so I think that title and it being attractive is certainly that subject line rather is going to be really important.
Mhm.
Anything from you, Brooke?
Thank you.
But good ideas, Heather, on how to build the list.
Brooke, anything from you?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna speak in a normal American accent now. I could
yeah,
do French the whole time. I was a French major, but I'm not gonna do that. But first of all, I will say, Jane because Jane and her team built my website a while back, and one thing that we do have is a pop-up, which I used to be like totally anti pop-up, but then I was like, okay, it can work. And it's to subscribe to the newsletter. But I personally don't say newsletter because at least for me, like the word newsletter does not like excite me, but it's
yeah,
more like if you want to get regular tips on ways to, like, in other words, make it a value statement of what they get,
yes,
then they're more likely to sign up. So if you ever Jeff, if you ever just go to my website and really just to see the pop-up, it'll pop up after 10 seconds. Just
Mhm.
look up Delaware Shout Out and you'll see it. So and you'll see there's a value statement there. I forget exactly what it says, but there's something there, and it doesn't just say subscribe to the newsletter kind of thing.
yeah. I need to step up my
Okay.
game. I'm a little lazy on the list building, but it definitely is it's still great. Assuming your industry.
Mhm.
So
Sure.
yeah. Hello, Dean. Thank you for coming. Do you have any questions or anything you want to
Hi,
add?
Dean. Dean
Let me
LeBay,
know.
the Potato Man, is awesome.
All
Please follow
right.
Dean. Oh, yeah, bring him on up.
Yay.
Sneak
All
it on up.
right. This is as many people who's had on stage at once, I think.
I
Hi, Dean.
know. I'm taking a picture. Hi, Dean.
Hey, guys! I wanted to drop in. I'm working from home today, and interesting conversation. And I'm just here to listen, support y'all. I believe in dark mode. I can't always catch it when it's on, but I think y'all are doing a fantastic job educating the people out there that are kind of old like me and just didn't grow up in the iPhone technology world. But
Oh, there he goes. Thank you, Dean, so much for that. That
Thanks,
feedback
Dean.
means the world. It really does. You know, we sometimes, actually, Nancy Dybert was the first person who taught me that I was seen. And she walked right up to me and she was like, "Hey, all that social media doing, we noticed. Keep going." I'm like, "Oh my God," you know, and I was just so excited. Um, so yeah, just do it one day at a time. Pick something to change, pick something to improve, something that, you know, like when we do a trade show booth, for example, we had a freaking a pink carpet. We had the most ridiculous, obnoxious things, and guess what? People came to our booth. So don't be afraid to put yourselves out there, people.
Brooke, are you going to the networking event in whatever what is it
September.
called?
I think it's next
Chase
month.
Center?
Delaware Networking Station?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about it.
Hey, you can still register. The deadline is next week. Oh my
Yeah, I
God,
know.
you're
I was
welcome.
gonna register. I was thinking
Yeah.
about it, but
I might I will check it out. But if I do it, I'm just gonna obviously attend at this point. So
Yeah.
I'm doing also I'd have to redo all of my trade show stuff because since I've kind of like refreshed my
Right.
brand, like everything would have to change and
That's true.
yeah. So I'd rather I think just walk around.
yeah,
But
see,
Yeah.
dude, that's awesome, Brooke. I'm so excited for that because, like, I feel like everybody is like kind of leveling up their stuff right now,
yes.
and I love
Well,
it.
I'm
Trying to be
getting
different. You know?
yeah. So sorry. So sorry. I apologize. Yeah, I'm just trying to get back into like doing more in-person networking and not just relying 100% on virtual, which
Me
obviously
too.
yeah.
High five.
Yes. Wait, I have to
It's hard for
press
me.
react. Clap. There we go. Yay.
Yay. Awesome. I'm so glad to have you guys on the podcast today. And anyone else have any questions or comments?
Nope, lady, this has been fun. This has been a
Awesome.
very modern markety type of episode today. I
Yeah.
feel like we've connected with some awesome people, and had some great
Yeah.
conversations about being like a modern marketer and attraction marketing. Is there anything else that we should leave
Yes.
everybody with? What's up?
What's next week,
Oh,
Heather?
shit. All right,
I'm going to be on vacation. Sorry, not really sorry. And Heather can do this in her sleep, so she doesn't need me at all.
So next Thursday, we are going to be talking about processes. So I want to talk about systems, processes, implementation, streamlining, because that's what I've kind of been doing for the past 2 years. And so really just getting down to the nitty and gritty of like finding the software and the processes that really work for your specific industry and for your specific business.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about that. And where are you
Me
going next
too.
week? You're going to Hershey Park still, yes?
Yes, I'm going to Hershey Park. The park that's closed because there are butterflies still there. So I hear, you know, it's going to be fine. We're going to just go on an adventure. And one little thing I'm going to say, which I don't know if anyone cares, but a really great thing to do is to put your like big vacation thing near the tail end of it, because by the time you do it, you're going to be way more relaxed than when you first do it. So I'm like, oh my God, I have to pack and do all this stuff. How can I possibly have fun on my vacation? So we just put it near the end. And then by that point, I am ready
Yes.
to
Oh, I love
enjoy.
that. Well, I hope you have a
So a little
great
tidbit
time.
for you guys. And I hope you have as much fun as I do.
Yes. Jeff,
And
Brooke, any final words before we close out the room today?
I'm just going to jump in and say I've been trying to get on to one of your podcasts for a while, and I constantly had something conflicting with it. But I was going to ask, are these sessions recordable that if unable to attend, that we can listen to them later?
Yes, yes, yes. So we are
Okay.
actually recording. This is Dark Mode, the live podcast we are recording, and you can listen afterwards on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and watch on YouTube because we
Excellent.
darkmodelive.com.
yes.
Excellent. For example, I'm not sure I can attend next week, but the topic sounds great.
Oh well,
Yup,
yes,
they'll be published there, and we'll let you know when it drops. We usually 10 a.m. same day.
yes.
Well,
Terrific.
the next week.
And last one, what was the last one that we just dropped?
Platform picks.
Yes,
Website
platform
platform.
picks.
Yeah.
That was a good
Cool.
one. Anything
All
else, Brooke,
right.
before we leave? Oh, Jean
No, I want to
Jean
say.
LeBay
I
has
want
a
to.
hand raised. Jane.
Oh, okay. Dean had his hand raised. Here he is. Let's
Yes,
do
I
it.
think he had to bounce real quick.
All right, Dean, you're back on.
Yeah, book. Yeah, believe it or not, somebody actually called wanting to buy something. Can you
Well,
believe that?
hell, you
Nice.
gotta take that call.
Thanks, Heather. I appreciate the sale. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, uh, sorry I had to jump off. Listen, I'm just here to support y'all. I think y'all are doing great work, and if I can ever help you, all you gotta do is reach out. But anyway, I
Thank you,
just wanted to
Dean.
come. Well, I just wanted you to know that I didn't jump off because I didn't want to listen. I just, yeah, I'm working
You're
from the
making
house
moves,
today.
Dean. Making
You're
moves.
making moves.
Man, I'm just listen. LinkedIn is my playground, and it's all about collecting the dots and connecting the dots. And the power of LinkedIn is just unbelievable. It's just most people I talk to, and everybody I talk to, when I'm out prospecting, belly to belly, B2B sales, belly to belly, is I asked one, I said, "Are you connected to LinkedIn?" I said, "No, I'm not looking for a job. I got off of." That's what the old LinkedIn is to everybody. And I think it's real important that we push LinkedIn because there are a lot of professionals and a lot of people that don't know about what the network can do now, the platform can do now.
It's
Anyway,
so
that's it.
true. Thank you, Dean. That was
Thank
great
you,
insight.
Dean.
And if we need a guest for outbound sales, we know who to contact.
Ooh, yes, for sure.
Smiling down, baby. Let's get it on.
That's right. Anything else? Any final thoughts,
Yeah.
my dear Brooke?
Just thank you so much. This is my first time joining in. I've been wanting to join in for quite a while, just like Dean. So I look forward to joining in on future ones as well.
We'll let you know when it's live. Heather,
Yep.
do the honors.
You guys, dark mode disabled. See you next week.